Right, let's have a look at fucking Sargon. Sargon and Applebee's. So I'm gonna. Obviously, everybody knows what's going on with Sargon and Jim at the minute, or Mr. Medica. To be fair, I'm quite like Sticks, X, and Hammer on this one. Sargon has his decent points, but so does Mr. Medica. The thing is with Mr. Medica, he doesn't take himself too seriously, but he takes his work seriously. A lot of people will go, "What?" when you say that type of stuff, but he doesn't take himself seriously as a political YouTuber or a YouTuber that's against anything. He realizes that he's a YouTuber. Yes, we have influence. Yes, we're able to do little bits and pieces to influence the world around us. But at the same time, we're just YouTubers. We're just one person. Yes, we have a platform, but we're one person. The thing is with Sargon is, as much as I used to have a little man crush on him, he was what I always wanted to be as a political YouTuber. But talking to him and watching his recent videos and rewatching some of his older videos on New Idea, and it's not just because of what Jim has pointed out in himself or Mr. Medica as well, but I've been thinking like it for a long time. So with a lot of people, the pompousness and the self-aggrandizement of Sargon seems to be his own downfall, to the point of where he would literally come out and say that he's going to run for his local office, which he has admitted to that he's going to do for Swindon, I believe. He's actually come out and said he's going to run, and nothing on the internet is ever going to come out and hurt him in his political view. He honestly thought that, to the point of where he's actually had people come up to him and ask him about what's going on. To the point of, I can quickly show you this, because this is obviously Jamie McWheater, or whatever his name is. Has actually come out and said that he's going to do a piece on him. He's going to do a podcast. He's asking what his points are. And remember, Jim, Mr. Medica himself, have actually come out and said this is what's going to happen. Now you're running for political office. You're going to have everything that you've ever done come out and bite you in the fucking ass. And it's true. In a podcast recorded in February, you accused members of the alt-right of acting like a bunch of niggers. To be fair, slightly out of context, he said white niggers, but doesn't really matter on that point. It still is what it is. You called them white niggers and faggots. You also said white people are meant to be polite and respectful to one another, and you guys can't even act like white people. Screenshots and everything else like that are all there. Obviously, talking about the Jess Phillips incident, which, to be fair, I don't really see as much of a point on that one. The point of saying I wouldn't even rape you is not a threat. It's kind of a validation of saying, you know, you're going to tell me that I was going to rape you anyway, so I'm telling you I'm not. But you can't do that when you're in political office. You can't have that on your conscience when you're in a political office. You can't do that if you're going to try and change people's minds generally by... I don't know. What do you think on this anyway so far? Because I've rambled on a bit.
I have quite enjoyed it from sort of Jim's point of view, because he has given him so much ammunition to use.
Definitely.
Because, I mean, I always said that they were probably my two favorite YouTubers. And when they first started falling out, it was kind of quite sad, really, to see it. But I get where Jim's coming from. Definitely. Because he felt that ever since he sort of lost the debate to Richard Spencer, he's sort of gone into a sort of a weird sort of egotistical mission to prove to everybody that he isn't, that he is smarter than he thinks he is. It really is him trying to sort of disprove what was said, is that, oh, I actually am. I know, I've read books. I know this, I know that. I'm going to become political now. I'm going to change the world. And I knew, as Jim has proven, is that they would always use his YouTube career against him, because he has obviously said things that can be taken easily out of context, and especially when he did the white niggers thing.
Yep.
I can still remember Coach Red Pill coming onto one of my streams and bringing it up because he always hated what's called Sargon anyway.
Definitely, yeah.
And I thought at the time, I thought that's actually quite embarrassing for him to lose his shit like that, even if they're giving him a load of abuse and all the rest.
See, when that happened for me for the white niggers comment, I've actually really lost respect for him at that point. I really did lose a hell of a lot of respect for him because, as I said before, I did have a kind of a man crush on him. I'm not going to falsify and say no. I always knew that he was a cunt. No, I didn't. I honestly had the belief that he had everybody else's interest in hand, so to speak. But when he actually come out and said things like that, it proved, in essence, to me that he wasn't actually doing it for the benefit of other people. He was doing it for the benefit of himself. Because if he was coming out to do it for the benefit of other people, then he wouldn't care about the chat and he would have gone on to debate or do whatever. It just shows that he was only interested in doing it for himself. And at that point, it was a case of, I am self-important. I am important. I am a big deal. Why are you treating me like this? And it seems like a diva fit, as in, he's spurging out like, oh, you can't say this to me. I'm important. It's like, no, mate, you're not. You're just another person with another political idea. You can't start trolling people like Jess Phillips by saying that I wouldn't even rape you comment. And then when people start calling you whatever, you completely spurg out and start calling them white niggers and everything else like that. You just don't do that. If you're a troll yourself, you don't cry when other people troll you. You get on with it.
Yeah. I think it was always inevitable that it was going to happen to him eventually, that his ego would overtake his subscriber level.
Yeah, definitely.
It always does in situations like this. And I think, in a way, the mainstream are really soiling their hands at this because they've got, real ammunition they can use against UKIP now. Because they really, 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 especially with all what's going on with Brexit at the moment, do not want them resurgent again.
Of course.
And the last thing they want is them, becoming popular, especially if the working class start, voting for them en masse again. The only way out of it for Sargon I can see, in terms of the allegations that they'll be using against him, is to hold firm. I think it's the only thing you can do. And he kind of did with the message he sent, but then he sort of foolishly said, I want this reproduced in full. Now, that was never going to happen. Same thing with this interview he's done for the BBC, the 3-hour one that only used 4 minutes of.
Yeah.
They're going to go through it and find every single thing they can to make him look bad.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. I mean, with the idea of what Sargon was saying to obviously this reporter or the reply, so to speak, he was saying, "Oh, I want you to reproduce this in full." The thing is, as Medica quite rightly pointed out to him, it's not like the media have ever lied about anything, is it, Sargon?
No.
Meaning, why would you have trusted any sort of media to be able to produce the truth, so to speak, or not take you out of context? Because let's be honest, in most of the cases that have, apart from the white niggers trolling and obviously of Jess Phillips, everything really has been taken out of context for Sargon. But it's the fact that he put himself in that position in the fucking first place. That's the problem. Because he's so, or seems to be, I can't say for instance, because I don't know him that well. But even when I've spoken to him a couple of times on live streams himself, he seems so self-important to the point of, no, whatever you say is not correct. I know it for a fact. And you're like, no, well, this is what other people have been saying. This is what my conclusion is. This is what I think. And then he goes, no, it's not. No, it's nothing like that. And then a week later, he's parroting the same points that you fucking made yourself.
Yeah.
The thing is with Sargon, he seems to change his political view, not like the wind, but he seems to change it with the idea of what's popular. He seems to be the generalization of a populist YouTuber when it comes to political points anyway. He doesn't seem to go against too much what the mainstream is. Now, don't get me wrong, he goes against feminism, and I know he fucking does. But even to the point of when he was talking to Amos Yee and it depends on the child comment, for me, I do understand where he was coming from, but for the instance of Amos Yee and what he was trying to get at, he should never have gave that bit of ground. It's a case of, yes, okay, some cultures do that, but you don't give the ground on it. You just don't. But yet he did, because he thought that he would be intellectually superior to Amos Yee and actually be able to counteract it and take his point and carry on with it. The thing is, he already gave the ground and all gave Amos Yee, and now obviously the media themselves, exactly what people like Amos Yee would have wanted, and saying that people like Sargon actually agreed with it.
Yeah.
I was just going to quickly say, AlphaGo a couple of minutes ago put down that I think Sargon and Tommy Robinson are going to ruin UKIP. I do think Sargon will. I don't think Tommy Robinson will. The reason why I don't think Tommy Robinson will is because Tommy Robinson has always been attacked by the media anyway, and always will be no matter what. The thing is with Tommy Robinson, he's already gone to prison, and yet he still has a massive following. The point is with Tommy Robinson that no matter what, no, I say no matter what, there are certain circumstances where people would stop following him, obviously. But if he keeps on doing what he's doing, people are going to follow him regardless. He is what a lot of people would actually call as a working class hero, because people think that he's doing the God's work, if you will, as a pun. With Sargon, not so much. He's caused so many controversies with different ideas. And the thing is, he does so much trolling that you never know what his actual political position is. To the point of the reason for joining UKIP, for instance, I think that the reason why he joined UKIP was because Count Dankula did. Not because he wanted to make a difference, not because he wanted something to stand up and believe in, not because he wanted to stand for something, but because he knew that Dankula was. He knew that other people were making political moves like Paul Joseph Watson and whatnot. They knew that they were doing something. And for him to stay relevant, for him to stay up to the point, he had to do something about it. So he joined UKIP because he wanted to piss off the libs.
I can tell by the look on your face, Common Sense, that that man crush is very much dead, isn't it?
Yeah, it is very much dead. I mean, I'm still quite happy with what some of the videos that he does do. I think that what he's actually doing is good work. I think what he's doing is good work, but I'm not sure on the motives of why he's doing the work anymore. I'm not sure if it is generally to help people or if it's generally to help himself. This has nothing to do with what Jim has said, though Jim's made fucking massively important points of what how hypocritical Sargon can be, especially some people that follow him as well, to the point of, Ralph Atorf wanted to do a charity stream, and then people like Sargon and Sargon's followers generally all went, why are you using charity to get people to do what they want to do? And then you've got him trying to bribe basically Steve Shives into a fucking debate with him. So it's one rule for one, it's one rule for another, so it seems. And that's one thing I generally hate about Sargon. The thing is that you can say with Count Dankula and even V and a lot of others that follow him, at least they stick to their points and they do it as a principled argument rather than arguing a point of authority. You could quite easily say that when Sargon goes into debates, that he seems to argue from a point of authority, as in his authority.
I think maybe one thing that might save Sargon's ass in terms of this smear they're going to do on him is it depends on what UKIP's planning on doing in terms of targeting the sort of like the next generation voters, because the legacy media that's going to attack him is only really going to be, telling the older generations who still consume all their news from that. Because a lot of people who are going to know who Sargon is are going to be, familiar with YouTube and the content he does, and they're going to say, yeah, he has said the word nigger a few times and a few other terms like that. But it's like, as you and I know, and anybody with a functioning brain who doesn't subscribe to bullshit ideology, just because you say a slur doesn't make you an ist of anything. Because I know what the real definition of racism is. And it doesn't mean just saying a word. It means hating someone, and I mean the proper use of the word hate, on somebody based on their race. Now, I know from myself, and I know you well enough to know that you don't hate anybody based on their race, so you're not a racist. So just because we've said that word today doesn't mean we're fucking racist. But I know if you or I decided to go into politics, they would dig all this shit up on us and they would say, oh, racist on internet said this, blah, blah, blah. So the only way I can see Sargon battling this, and this is why he's either incredibly brave or just incredibly naive, probably a bit of both, is that he's going to have to, and the whole of UKIP is now going to have to take on the entire, mainstream media establishment who are going to smear them just because he said a word.
Yep.
And I think that in terms of the older voters, I don't know really, but in terms of the younger voters who knew who he was anyway, I don't think it's going to make a lot of difference. Obviously, he's got to defend himself, but at the same time, I think as time goes on, more and more, as the mainstream media are slowly, climbing into their graves, more and more of these hit pieces are going to come out to try and get rid of as many of us in the alternative media as possible. But I think the more and more they do it, the more and more people just won't listen to it. So even though this hit piece can be quite seen as quite damaging, I'm not 100% certain it's going to be. But I still agree with Jim on this point, which is if you do want to be political, it's probably not the best thing if you've got a trail that can be used against you on the internet. Because in the same way, if you'd have carried on with your political career, common sense, the only thing I'd ever worried about is them digging into your past and finding stuff. Because obviously we've made some saucy jokes and said some stuff that could be considered in their mindset as racist and all this other crap. We know we're not, and we would argue it until we were blue in the fucking face. But I just know what these arseholes are like. But I do think we are reaching a point now where all the smears that the mainstream are throwing at people, the shit isn't sticking. You've only got to look at Trump to see that they can throw abuse day after day after day after day after day, and it's not sticking. So yeah, I fully laugh at Sargon, the same as Jim and all of them, because he's filled his bed full of piss and now he's fucking drowning in it, and that's his own doing. That's something he's got to live with. But at the same time, if he wants to do this and he thinks he can survive the smears, good luck to you. I don't know if you've got a massive fucking ego anyway, so you might be able to survive the knocks, but you'll probably end up going on a BVT panel and somebody will slag you off in the audience and you'll say shut up white nigger or something and make it even worse for yourself. But it's interesting, mate. From my own personal point of view, I'm loving it because it's just cracking entertainment. The last two Sundays have been great. Waking up last Sunday, especially, his stream with 20 minutes of silence and all the other fuck ups, and then
that went well.
And then Jim comes on with his counter, and it's beautiful. So long may it continue, I say, because it's very entertaining.
Yeah. I would like to add to a couple of your points, especially with the point of Sargon taking on this battle and maybe UKIP taking on the battle. As far as I'm aware, UKIP are going to leave Sargon high and dry. They've already said that he's not actually part of the party. He's just somebody that they got in as a consultation over Europe. So I don't think UKIP are going to stand behind him on that one. With Sargon himself, I think that he will go and fight the media, but I think that fight is absolutely going to destroy him, and I think it's going to destroy his channel as well. Not because it's a case of, for him anyway, I don't think it'll be a case of it destroying him because of politically. I think it will take too much energy out of him. I think it will take too much energy for him to be able to fight every single thing that he's done politically as well. I don't think that he's going to be able to do that and fight all of it. To the point of the way that he wants to fight is he wants to do defamation of character or slander laws. I don't think it's a case of he will be able to get anything on that because there's too much of what he's actually done and what he's actually said for it not to be taken out of context.
Yeah.
And the idea of quote mining is not a part of slander either. That's why it has its own definition and why it's called quote mining.
Yeah. I don't know, mate. It's going to be very interesting to see which way it goes. I think definitely if because I know Batten's his leadership is up in, is it like March next year? And there's depending on whether Farage decides to run against Khan in London, which I personally think is a waste of time. He could potentially return as leader again. And if he does, then I would say that most of the YouTubers who have joined, including Dankula and Paul Joseph Watson, will be out of the party.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. I think once they've used it to get a biggish movement, I think they'll be out of the party anyway. Well, I'm not too sure. I think Dankler will actually stay into it. I think if he doesn't go to prison, I think he will actually stay in the party. I think he can actually do some good in it. I think Paul Joseph Watson will actually do all right because he's got the right idea. He's not going to talk to the media about it. He's not going to go through everything. I'm going to play this video that Hamid Spud has sent me, simply because Hamid Spud has said that Sargon is quitting the political point. So I think that will be quite interesting to find out what he's actually doing, and we can actually quickly comment on the video. It's only a 10-minute video, so should be all right. Should be interesting. So let's bring this up and actually start fucking playing it, shall we? Rather than just being a fucking noob and a boomer. Good old Jim.
I'm glad he hasn't started attacking the Gen Xers, otherwise I'm fucked.
Well, yeah, I'm not too far behind you either, mate. Right, we've got all that all the way up. Let's move this down a little bit so we can actually hear it.
I'm pretty good.
Can we all hear that?
Yep.
Right, good.
I'm tired though. You know, I'm tired. I've been in the trenches of the culture war for like 5 years now. I don't feel like I've ever had a break. I feel like even when even if I go on holiday or something, I'm still on my phone. I'm still following the news cycle. I'm still owning the progs online, things like this. And I want to take a break.
See, this is where Jim always comes in and says that it would be a case of Sargon being a little bit pretentious when he says that. He's like, "Oh, I'm always owning the progs." So, for instance, that's the reason why people are going against you, Sargon. Not because you say stuff that's factually incorrect, but because you are saying that you always do this. You're the only one in the culture war. You're the only one doing this. Yes, okay, you're the most recognizable. But you're not the only one in there. After all, V's with you, fucking Count Dankula's with you. So are so many other people that are with you and help you. But yeah, it's you that owns all the progs all alone. Nobody else. Nobody else goes out of their way to try and fight this culture war. Anything to add on that, Magic?
No, just to say that beard really needs some Just for Men, doesn't it?
Yeah, it makes it look like a vagina that's half open.
Oh, I see. Well, a bit like Bunty's beard.
Oh, I'm not even getting into that. We need a black light. We need a black light for that one. Are we getting some shit particles or are we getting some vaginal vag?
All I can say is that man has some serious issues. He's the one who should be taking a break from YouTube for about 10 to 20 years.
Yeah. The thing is with Bunty, it's a case of why would you even say that on the internet? Because once it's out on the internet, that's it. You're never going to live that shit down.
Well, it's nice that it lived out on the internet for at least, about 12 months at minimum. And now it's all coming out and everybody's now just laughing at him. But like you said, who's that fucking stupid to admit all this stuff on the internet?
Exactly.
But, you know, the thing is, this is one thing about the internet that I don't like, is that when you make a prat of yourself, say, in front of your mates when you're out on the town or something, they will take the piss, they will laugh at you at the time. They might even take the piss out of you for several days or maybe weeks later, but eventually it's forgotten. With the internet, it's never forgotten. Never. You put something ridiculously embarrassing about yourself out there, and even if you delete it, there's a very good chance somebody's got a record of it, and it will never be forgotten.
Yeah, absolutely, exactly, mate. Fucking
and it's the reason why people like Jim exist, because there are so many fucking idiots out there who
Yeah.
will do this thing. Yeah.
Go and watch Jim's actual last video. That's absolutely sickening.
Oh yes, about the furry.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I must admit I didn't know what it was, and I sort of watched it unprepared, and it's yeah. I'm really starting to think that sort of a forced euthanasia on certain people would not necessarily be a bad thing.
I just absolutely think that some people should have been swallowed.
Or at the very least, his mother should have been introduced to the top of the stairs.
Or use a condom. It's safer. Right, let's go back.
Bunty's beard, yeah.
Yes, all over Bunty's beard. All right, let's get back to this video.
You know, I think I've done a lot of work recently, and I've got to a point where I think I can produce more useful content if I essentially unplug from the internet and just start ignoring what other people are doing and focusing on what I want to do.
Interesting. I mean, I just caught the jump cut as well. Interesting that he wants to create interesting content, but he wants to deplatform himself basically by deplugging from the internet. But he doesn't want to listen to what other people are doing. Well, do you not reckon that that's what other people have been telling you for fucking ages not to do? Is not get embroiled into argumentations with people that you disagree with, especially with people that don't actually have a political opinion. I know Jim does have a political opinion, but he's not going to tell everybody what it is and stand by it because he doesn't have to. Yeah. You are going to have to stand by your opinion because you are a political YouTuber. Because you are a political YouTuber, you have to stand by your reasoning and your logic. So what you do affects your ideology and your actual presentation of yourself. What Jim does is being a troll. Even if he has the worst politics involved in life, even if he did, which he doesn't, even if he did, it wouldn't matter too much because of the content that he produces is nothing to do politically. It's taking the piss out of people like you that take yourself too seriously, to the point of obnoxiousness.
Yeah. It is sadly, as much as I hate to admit it, because I kind of want him to succeed, because even though obviously he has an ego, I think the world under Sargon would be slightly better than what it is at the moment. But
definitely, I definitely agree that it would be better than what it was.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it would be a case of, for me, and this is only a hypothesis, I think it would end up turning into a form of a dictatorship. The reason for that is because I honestly do believe that Sargon would start off with government, but then think the rest of the governments are stupid. And then think, well, fuck it, I'll tell everybody what they should do and what they shouldn't do.
Yeah, what would happen is the leader of the opposition would, the dispatch box, tell him that Prime Minister, you're not as smart as you think you are, and then all fucking hell will break loose, won't it?
Yeah, video after video of him trying to own the opposition leader instead of just going, well, I run the country, you don't, so I must be smarter than you.
It really is so disappointing, mate, because I don't blame Jim for doing what he's doing.
No, definitely.
For taking the piss, because if I was in the same situation as him, I'd be doing it as well. And I mean, Sargon's always struck me as somebody who did have an ego anyway. He deny it. He just say that no, I just foolishly let a few people get to me and all that. Well, it's the context of somebody's character is that they can brush off the criticism. They can respond to it, but they do it in a mature and adult way. That video you did about Jim was totally unnecessary. You didn't need to do it. You didn't need to bite. You didn't even need to mention Jim once when they were taking the piss out of you, saying that you're dressed like an Applebee's fucking waiter and all that. Yes, it's funny, but you should have just laughed along and just, instead of this, yeah, but at least I'm trying to do something in real life, you make yourself sound like a pretentious prick. You know,
agreed.
you just really have to laugh it off. Remember the first rule of comedy, or at least my one and only rule, which is you can't laugh at others until you can laugh at yourself.
Exactly.
And I think he's kind of forgotten how to do it.
Well, as you quite rightly said, the thing is with Jim makes really good content, but he's a troll content
Yes.
creator, which is fucking amazing, and his content is quite good, regardless of what some people, Mr. Red Pill, say that his content's gone downhill.
Oh, yes, that was an interesting moment, wasn't it? Yeah.
I thought him and Coach Red Pill were going to actually destroy each other, to the point of Coach Red Pill, as far as I remember, were actually producing a tweet saying that, if Jim actually does a video on me trying to say that I've made bad content, he's made bad content and I haven't, or like preparing himself for an onslaught. And Jim, being as smart as Jim is, knew that that's what fucking Coach Red Pill does, tries to make content and drama with bigger YouTubers to make him bigger.
Mm-hmm.
To the point he said that actually to him, and he never denied it. That's the reason why Jim is smarter, because he knows how to play the field, where Sargon's a reactionary. It's a case of, you've said something bad to me, so I'm going to say something bad to you. And if you're being political and want to be political, that's not how you show maturity. That's how you show that you're immature and can't lead.
Yes. And one thing I think a lot of YouTubers seem to make the mistake with Jim about, he has no loyalty to anybody.
Yes.
Which is, he will turn on you in a blink of an eye. You've seen it now, obviously, with Coach Red Pill. He'd obviously had him on his channel before, and they were, getting on fine. And they've been on streams together, getting on fine. He's even defended him when the thing came out with Kraut and T. Did a video on it.
He did.
But the second you cross him, or say some shit about him, he will turn on you and he will laugh at you and he will take the piss out of your hypocrisy. And he did exactly the same thing on the same stream when he was taking the piss out of Tonka.
Yes.
Now, he used to be on the commentator near enough every day.
He did,
but
yeah.
As soon as Tonka started acting like an ass, not that it really takes much effort, he started, he turned on him and he called out his hypocrisy. And that's what they seem to think that once they get on the good side of Jim, they've got an ally. Nope.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't work that way. As he said, he has no he has no internet friends at all.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is definitely true. And I think in some aspects that's why Jim is good at what Jim does, because he doesn't care about what friends he makes on the internet or anything else like that. If you have hypocrisies, or if you prove to him that you're worth doing a video on because of your idiocies, then he's going to do it, and fair play to him. That's what makes Jim so good at what he does.
Well, yeah, I know a lot of people hate him because they think he's like some kind of vulture who's picking at a carcass, but personally he entertains me. The videos he put out, very, very often I will watch his videos and I will be in hysterics and I'll be pissing myself laughing, and I generally wish I had his sort of skill at digging all this stuff up, because he must spend hours and hours finding all this shit.
Yeah, well, if he doesn't, he's got other people that can help him as well. I mean, I've noticed that with quite a lot of bigger YouTubers, that they have, especially on Discord servers. I know Jim doesn't have one, but especially on Discord servers or Twitter, they generally ask for people to provide them with some sort of form of content, as well as in a suggestion box. I'm not saying that Jim gets that, but I'm saying that I think that he can get some aspects of. Some people might send him something, and then he goes on a digging channel or digging aspect.
Yeah, well, obviously he sends his 15-year-old boys out to find all this information out for him. But
his grooming army.
His grooming army, yeah. Just to respond to Nate in the chat, he did actually slag Baked Alaska off when he went on his spurg.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
he completely destroyed fucking Baked Alaska. There's a reason why Baked Alaska is really not on the internet anymore.
Yeah, he's making... Do you see that horrible cringe video he did? A rap video, or I don't know what you'd call it, of... what's it called? He's My President, or whatever it was. I think he tried watching about a minute of it, Jim, and he couldn't watch anymore. It was that fucking awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, this... I think anybody who had the time to do it could really emulate him easy, because there are so many people out there to take the piss out of. And I understand entirely. I mean, I keep my identity a secret on the internet because I have a full-time job and I can't risk, what I say on the internet potentially causing me to lose my job.
Yeah.
With someone like Jim, he can't dare be identified because he will have lawsuits coming after him left, right, and center with the amount of people and he's slagged off and the things he said.
Yeah, well, it's not just that. He also has the pedophiles that he actually goes after, which is funny that people would say that he's a groomer when he actually generally goes after pedophiles to actually get them imprisoned as well. I think he's done it twice where he's actually got proper pedophiles off of the internet and actually arrested in real life.
Yes.
He does it with other things as well. Goes after sexual predators and whatnot. I like Jim. Jim does really good content. He really goes after the actual scum of the internet. The thing is, Jim's one of those people that will have a laugh and be able to work out the funny side of things. But as soon as he gets a sniff of, I don't know, should we say darkness, for instance, he's there. He's digging. He'll find it. He'll get you. And that's the funny thing. If you've got nothing to hide, you've got nothing to fear from Jim. But if you've got something to hide in some form of aspect or hypocrisy, Jim will find it. Jim will get it. Jim will do it.
Yep. Yeah, that's the thing you've got to remember about the internet is it doesn't forget.
Yes.
So for fuck's sake, do not Spurg. Just try and be normal. Don't
tell people that you eat women's ass and you absolutely loved it and you begged for it.
Yeah, and don't go on a forum and say you love making fucking your pet dog and then wondering why it's dying of liver failure.
Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah,
I'm going to take a break, and I don't know how long a break I'm going to take from the news side of it, that sort of thing. And I'm going to produce the content I want to produce. And yeah, that does mean the Starship Troopers video. One of the things that holds that up is the constant need to keep up the news cycle. So I'm really looking forward to getting off that treadmill, because frankly it's tiresome and it turns you into nothing but a culture warrior. And honestly, that's what I've worried that I've been becoming recently, just a hardcore culture warrior. And honestly, with my debate with Carrier, I really felt afterwards like, Christ, I didn't give him the fair hearing. I was making an ass out of myself. So
I'm sorry. It's like almost every single debate that you've ever had, Sargon. Now, don't get me wrong. As I said before, I like Sargon. I still like Sargon. But if you're going to say that you make yourself look like an arse every now and again, no. In every single debate that you've ever had, you always say or do something that makes you look like an arse, either a pretentious cunt or somebody that doesn't actually listen to what the other person's saying and deal with the actual argument that's put in front of you. It's like you try to script your debates, and it's quite telling, especially when you go, oh, so you're white, so you just want this white, oh, so you want that, obviously talking about the Richard Spencer thing. Yeah, I honestly do think that you try to script your debates, to be honest, my friend.
Yep. It's I mean, this video is not going to go down very well either. It's just going to make people think he's running away. You fucked up. You've made a complete tit of yourself, and now you're just going to go and hide and wait till everything you hope blows over. But those trolls will be back. They'll be waiting, and I know Jim will be waiting to pounce.
I can't wait for Sunday.
I really get the impression Jim absolutely despises Sargon now. Really despises him.
Jim despises him. I think Jim just dislikes the pretentiousness and the hypocrisies that he can see.
I don't know. I just, the way he's, the tone of his voice and things he says, certain words he uses, it gives off the impression to me it's somebody who really doesn't like someone. I mean, I know he's going to go after anybody who fucks up anyway. I mean, if me and you fucked up, and we were big YouTubers, he'd be on us like a shot, and I don't blame him. But I just get the feeling that I think maybe it's because disappointment on Jim's part, which is maybe he thought that, the ex-Gamergate is the ones who came out of it not looking too bad, because they weren't all fucking saying, oh, we're against the feminists. By the way, give me some money.
Yeah.
And I suppose he kind of hoped that sort of mentality would carry on, but all he's really seen is just a lot of the YouTubers who got big around that time have all sort of, in a way, self-destructed to a certain extent.
All the skeptics have, haven't they, so to speak?
Yeah, and I don't know if it's just because they run out of ideas or they don't know what to do with themselves. And I suppose when you become a full-time YouTuber and your whole, that's it, that's your job, and you're constantly dependent on people paying you via Patreon or, ads or whatever.
That's another thing. If he's quitting and he doesn't know how long he's taking time off, so to speak, what's he doing with his Patreon account? Because obviously that's a monthly thing. So if he takes off a month of no content, is he going to reimburse the people that have already been charged? I mean, if he says he's not doing anything for the money, you have to remember he earns almost something like, I think it's something stupid, like 10, 13, 14, 15 grand a month.
Well, I was just thinking that myself. I'm actually going to have a look what he's on. Last time I checked, it was 10,000 a month. And yeah. Oh, it's 12, just over 12 now.
Yeah.
So that puts him in the top, is it 5% of earners in the UK?
Oh, what's that? What's that a year if he earns that? That's at least 120, so around about 160 in total.
Yeah, it's probably about near 140,
and that's without
150. Yeah,
that's without sponsoring, without being paid to go off to MythCon and everything else like that, without being endorsed by other things. So he's at least earning 150 to 160k a year just on basic Patreon.
And only up until recently, he had no rewards in his Patreon. Nothing at all. And all you get now is, was it $5 and $20, is you get titles on his Discord server.
Which is now fucking privated. No, you should be able to do certain videos and be able to shield yourself, so to speak, on certain platform. He is now completely and utterly privatized everything to the point where people that are not accepted, like I was accepted in his Discord and everything. I could post on certain bits, but now I can't post on any sort of form of what he's got on whatsoever. I wonder why he's done that.
Yeah, only his approved followers, or his sort of what did Jim call them? His was it legions or something? Like he calls V his pet, doesn't he? His pet gypsy.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, it's getting very insulated, isn't it?
Very much so. Very, very fucking much so.
I suppose I'm just disappointed, mate. That's the thing, isn't it? I won't unsubscribe to him. I won't stop watching his stuff, but I will be looking at him and thinking to myself that ego, mate, that fucking ego.
That's the thing. That's how I reckon that he's quitting, because he knows he's taking a massive hit. He knows that he's not going to be able to come back and fight Jim on this. He's not what Jim is. Jim is an animal when he wants to do his research. But the thing is, Jim's only got to focus on Sargon. I'm not saying that Jim's lazy or whatever, but he's only got to focus on him if he wants to. Sargon's got to fight Jim. He's got to fight people like Christie. He's got to fight all the rest of them. That's on his back, obviously, all the time. And then he's got to do what he wants to do politically as well. He is literally what you would call a jack of all trades that is trying to do too much and is absolutely burning the candle at every end. Which is the reason why he fails in debates, because he doesn't take the time to research the actual arguments that are coming off. He thinks he knows what the arguments are. And when it comes off that he doesn't know what the actual arguments are, you can see him being stumped to the point of he tries to re-ask questions that he's already asked to try and get a different answer so he can pick up from a script or something that is already pre-remembered.
I know, it is a shame, mate. And the worst thing about it is that we don't want these people to fail, because these are the ones that we need to help us fight this supposed culture war. Because even though a lot of them will deny it, the left is in charge at the moment. This is why we've got all this postmodernist shit going on. Why we even got a conservative party that promotes things like non-binary toilets and the idea that
you can decide your gender by ticking a fucking box.
Yeah, and you should be fired if you believe things that women don't have dicks and things like that. This is the kind of thing we are against because we know it's all fucking nonsense. And we need the people who are going to take the fight to actually be able to do the fight without their ego tripping them up and becoming so self-satisfied and thinking that the whole sphere should evolve around them. I don't know if those people are out there. I'm certainly not going to be the one doing it because one, as I agree entirely with Jim on this, I have a YouTube career now. They have dirt on me, even though it's not much dirt, and good luck with them to find it. But
yeah.
That's not for me. I just want to make people laugh, and I want to make people laugh by being politically incorrect. I don't want to go to jail for being politically incorrect. I just want people to laugh and to understand it's a joke. That's it. Same way sort of Dankula did. But I do realize we need people who are going to fight our corner, and people like Sargon and various others should be the people doing it, but they're falling into that trap.
Yeah, no, I was going to say that I used to believe that Sargon was actually fighting for the small person, so to speak, the common man, so to speak, if you will. But he never was. The thing that he seems to, and obviously I don't know him, I can't say this for definitively, I can't say that this is definitely what he is, but in my opinion, and my honest opinion, I honestly feel that Sargon has done everything to gain attention. He's like that child at the back of the classroom that tries to throw paper at the teacher and then tries to say, oh, no, you're wrong, even though it says in the textbook that the teacher's right. He seems that he's one of those people that just wants the attention. He just wants people to notice who he is. I know that he always comes out and says, oh, no, I don't want to be the leader of this. I don't want to be the leader of that. So why do you always push yourself as it unofficially? You just don't say the words. That's the thing I've always noticed with Sargon. He always says that, oh, I'm the best at doing this, or I'm the best at doing that, or at least heavily fucking implies it. And then goes, oh, no, I'm not the leader. No, I'm not going to do this. No, I don't want to. And then 2 weeks later, he's fucking doing it. It just proves the point that he's always going to be that little bit of a hypocritical person, because he will say one thing and then in a week's time do something completely different. And I can honestly say I know that from personal fucking experience that he's done that.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. This is why I wanted to talk to you about it, because of somebody who's actually spoken to the man himself. I have never spoken to Sargon, and I doubt I ever will, because I've got nothing to say to him. Because I'm not that. I mean, I can talk to you when we can be really serious, but you can accept my humor that goes along with it. Yeah. I don't think he would. I don't think he'd like my style at all. In the same way, I don't think I could. Even though I'd love to talk to someone like, say, Academic Agent. Again, I'd love to have a chat with him, but again, I don't think he'd accept my sort of the way I do things, because I can't really do a sentence more than about 3 of seriousness without throwing in an inappropriate gag. But but the point is that it's nice to have somebody who's had first-hand experience of the man, and obviously you spoke to him before the shit happened with
Richard Spencer,
with Jim and Richard Spencer and all that. So it was before his sort of downward trajectory, yeah, so we could say. So and you said yourself that he didn't endear himself to you, did he?
No, well, as I said before, I've said it throughout this stream, I used to have a little man crush. He was one of the main reasons why I actually got into political commentary in the first place. Because I thought that he was honestly trying to make a difference for the small man. I didn't see too many other YouTubers at the time doing the same thing. So I thought, yeah, no, I completely want to do something like this. And he was the bloke that I wanted to emulate, so to speak. And then I had a chat with him on a particular stream. I made a couple of points, and he said, no, that's just an alt-right talking point, and a couple of other little bits and pieces. And he basically said, no, that's not true, and so on and so forth. And then a week later, he's parroting the same things that I said. Now, I'm not trying to suggest that I'm fucking intelligent. I'm not. But it kind of destroys credibility in somebody's eyes if you say something to somebody and then they say, no, that's not true. And then in the next week, they're saying, well, this is what I believe. Don't get me wrong. I'm quite happy that maybe I may have had an effect on him. I probably haven't, but it may have been interesting. And it's just, I don't know. He seems so hypocritical in his points. His points seem to change, not with the wind, but with how people seem to perceive what's going on. So I was saying about cultural Marxism when I was talking about him. Yes, I know it does seem like an alt-right talking point and things like that. But after I mentioned it and explained it and everything else of that, to what I believed it to be, it seemed that he kind of picked up on it. I'm not saying that it was me that coined the phrase, God fuck no. I heard it from a couple of other people as well, but kind of elaborated on it a little bit. I don't know. It just seems that when the political wind seems to shift, he seems to be at the forefront of it, or should I say, riding the dogtails of it.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see where he is in another 12 months. Whether, like you said, they get thrown out of UKIP, whether his channel takes a hit. Whether he tries to do an Andy Warski and change direction altogether. Wonder if he'll be doing gaming streams in another 12 months after shaving all his body hair off or something.
Yeah, I'm just going to leave that there. I used to like Andy Warski, not as a person because I've never met him or talked to him even, but I used to like his content. I used to like the fact that he wanted to be sort of a debate, sort of a bit like a drama channel as well. I don't know. It just seemed that he was one of those types. I know, again, I don't know him. It's a personal opinion, but he just seemed like he was one of those people that would not do anything, but would try and get people to like him. So he would try and do stuff that you wouldn't normally expect a human to do to get people to like him.
Yeah, I think you just pretty much summed it up exactly. I just think Worski's the type will do anything for clicks until he starts getting slagged off, and then, but I don't like being slagged off.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to do things that's popular like blood sports, you are going to get criticized for it.
Of course.
But I want all the money and I want all the attention, but I don't want any criticisms. So, I'm afraid life doesn't work that way, mate. You either, if you want to make the money and get the attention, then you're going to have to put up with the shit and just not let it get to you. But it did, and that's why he had his fucking breakdown. But again, that's just
live on stream. I'm going to burn my nipple with a fucking lighter.
Yeah, again, it's just, professional spurging. And, it's mate, it's one of the greatest fears I'd ever have of ending up like that. I would actually rather kill myself live on air than actually fucking spurg like that. Because at least then if I'm dead, I don't have to live with the consequences of everybody fucking laughing at you.
Yeah. But you could say that the killing yourself part would be a bigger spurge than what burning your nipple would be.
It probably would be, but like I said, at least you don't have to watch the metokur vid on it afterwards.
Well, you'd want to though.
No, I would actually. I'd probably laugh at it, thinking, "What a bell end that bloke." Oh, it's fucking me.
Right, let's get this fucking video watched because otherwise we would have been going on for at this moment in time we're on for 3 hours. So let's get this video done and then we can get on.
Go on then.
I'm not happy with what it was turning me into. So
you're not happy with what it was turning you into. You were the one that was turning you into what other people were pushing you as. You, not the way that you choose politically to decide what you're going to explain and what you're not going to explain, but you were the one who decided to go down the routes and take on the tests that you did, so to speak, the debates and whatnot, and go after certain people and whatnot. You were the one who decided to do that, Sargon. Nobody else. After all, shouldn't an individualist take responsibility for one's own actions?
Yeah.
Right, let's carry on.
I can't say no better than that.
I will still share things to my social media presence online, obviously, but it won't necessarily be about hot topics and hot takes about news items. It'll be things, again, that I think are interesting rather than things that I think are going to help drive the conversation a certain way. I'm sure there are plenty of other people who can do that, and they're going to have more time and more energy for that kind of work than I do at the moment. I need to recharge, and I need to do the things that I want to do. Frankly,
you don't need to recharge. You need to run away from the internet because you think that if you do that, then people are going to not remember what you are doing and what you've done.
Yep.
That's the only reason why you're running away.
Yeah, he is just going away, hoping this would all blow over and he can come back and nobody remember any of this.
Yep. Completely and utterly agree.
Not going to happen. Not going to happen.
After all, it's the internet, Sargon. People never forget this internet.
Somebody really, really needs a word with him to explain what he should be doing, not what he thinks he should be doing. Because obviously that ego at the moment, again, is driving his mind, and it's not doing him any favors.
Yep, I completely agree with that. Just to quickly address somebody in the chat, 999 Duke said that Sargon also chucked Tommy Robinson under the bus when Tommy Robinson was arrested. I completely and utterly agree with that statement. To the point of when Tommy Robinson was arrested, he said fuck all. He even tried to say that Tommy Robinson was in breach of what he was supposed to have been doing, when it's been proven by him and by others and by a court of law that technically, no, he wasn't. He wasn't in breach. I mean, he's got to go and be retried, which I think is a travesty in its fucking self, but he was already acquitted by one of the highest judges in the land of that crime, and yet Sargon still won't defend Tommy Robinson. And even the little defense that he has done of Tommy Robinson has been just to pander to Robinson's fans. So, yeah, not really one of the people that I would have respected out of that, especially considering that Sargon would say that Tommy Robinson is one of his friends. If you can leave your friends like that, that's the reason why people like Jim say that you don't have internet friends, because people leave their friends like that for nothing. And that's what you did, Sargon. You left one of your so-called friends or acquaintances on the internet to be arrested and to be tried and to be imprisoned within 3 to 4 hours, and you said fuck all about it. It's for somebody that's supposed to be this culture warrior, your bollocks kind of fucking shriveled up there, didn't it, lad?
Yeah.
Right, okay then. I'll carry on.
Again, I got nothing more to say, mate. You've summed it up quite nicely. I mean, I didn't really see much about, his response to Robinson, because I don't watch a lot of his stuff. I occasionally watch the odd video, still subscribe, but it's only when I see a subject that interests me. But maybe he was, trying to play it safe, but again, that's not really an excuse when it's somebody who you're supposedly not necessarily friends with, but somebody you support at least.
Well, no, I go against that. Sorry, Magic. It's a case of, even if you do support him, and even if he's a friend, even if he's not any of those two to you either, you're against the radicalization of Islam and things like that. You're against Muslim rape gangs. You're also against the government at that point in time for throwing him away for freedom of speech and freedom of the press. These are the principles that this principled fucking liberalist and fucking individualist stands by, to the point of him saying that it's one of his core principles. All three of them are core principles to him. And yet he would not defend Tommy Robinson at all on that point. Not even made a video of saying, yeah, all right, maybe he's done something wrong, but what they've done is absolutely wrong to him.
Mm. No, I don't disagree. It's just that I don't fully know the ins and outs of it, and I'm just saying I'm trying in vain to look at it from his point of view. But I don't know, mate. I honestly don't know what his motivation there is. Maybe he just generally didn't care.
Well, let's be honest. If that's how Sargon treats his friends, I wouldn't want to be one of his enemies. Well, then again, he treats his enemies better and always loses the debate, so maybe he does that on purpose.
Oh, the Nita of Sargon.
Yes, yes, indeed, yes. Right, let's get this video on.
They want to stop chasing numbers, because part of the game is that you're always chasing high viewing figures, and
I'm sorry, I know that I said I'm getting through the video, but the only reason why he's talking about numbers is because he mentioned the get your numbers up rookie to fucking Jim. And even with Jim only being at 200 and something thousand subs, completely pisses over Sargon's viewing for that's over 700 and something thousand, or is it 800,000 now?
Mm-hmm. 800. Well, I just checked. It's 850,000 exactly.
Fucking hell. And yet somebody with Jim's capability, which is probably at 300 and something thousand probably now, still pisses over fucking even people like Steven Crowder that have over 2 million people that actually follow him and actually not obviously watch his videos at the time, but, you know, watch his content. Jim still absolutely pisses over the fucking things on that. So when Sargon says, oh, I'm going to stop chasing numbers, I thought you were doing it for the political fight, Culture Warrior. Or are you doing it for the actual views and the clicks? Make up your fucking mind, you hypocritical cunt.
Well, at the end of the day, this is one of the main things I always tell, and I've told you before, common sense, is that the best way, especially these days on things like YouTube, it's so saturated now. There's so much content that it's difficult to get noticed. The only thing you can do is to be entertaining, to entertain people. This obviously you've got this whole thing with Sargon, and yeah, his videos can be very informative, but are they necessarily entertaining? Jim is always entertaining, even when he's doing the really disgusting shit like his last video. Yep. It's still entertaining, and his metocasts are always entertaining. I mean, I've still got I ripped the sound from his one where he the recording he had of King of Pole from back in April, and I still occasionally play it if I'm at work and I'm bored because it's still so funny, even though I've heard it loads of times now. And that's the thing. That's why he gets the audience, because he entertains them, because they know they're going to have a good laugh and have a lot of fun. That's kind of what a lot of these YouTubers don't do. Yes, they're very informative. Yes, they'll tell you stuff that's going on. It's like when I look on BitChute, because I obviously have a second channel over there uploading all my stuff just in case.
Stop chilling.
Yeah. Have you got a ka-ching sound effect there? It's surprising that it's only really full of political stuff, the stuff that keeps getting banned over and on YouTube. When that's fine, because it deserves its place, but that's all it's fucking chock-a-block full of. And I just don't think there's enough what's the right word? Not necessarily comedy, but entertainment.
Yeah.
You can be political. You can take the piss and you can tell people the truth, but do it in an entertaining way. Because you do that, you can become a big YouTuber. It's finding that audience, but it's also being entertaining. That's the problem Sargon's got, is that one, I wouldn't say he's necessarily a natural, even though he's got the ego of a natural. But his videos, they're not necessarily that entertaining. And that's the problem. Even when he's doing his live cast, talking about things he's been up to and all of that, unless you really, really are interested in what he's doing, it's not necessarily that interesting. So whereas something like Jim's, you could jump on and you might not necessarily know what's going on, but you can grasp it reasonably quick and you can just laugh at it. And that's where he succeeds, I think, where Sargon fails to bring in the numbers.
Well, I think comparing Jim and comparing Sargon on content is kind of a false dichotomy, because Jim will just take the piss out of people. Yeah, Sargon takes the piss out of people, but he does it as a political motivation, where Jim literally just takes the piss out of people.
Yeah.
And I used to like Sargon, obviously, and I do love the way that Sargon thought that he was going to out-troll literally the person who has created channels to be trolling, to take the piss out of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody as Sargon's stature for political commentary was apparently going to out-troll him and out-shitlord him, to the point of you look at Sargon and you just go, right, you've done political videos, he's doing trolling videos, but you've got such an inflated ego of thinking that you can do fucking stuff better than everybody else, that you thought you'd have a go at trolling Jim. And yeah, where are you going again, Sargon? Oh yeah, you're quitting YouTube for a while. That went well, didn't it, mate?
Yeah. Again, it's the thinking about it. Well, the doing it before the thinking about it.
I just think that he gets so fucking preoccupied thinking that he is actually better than what he is. He is literally Anacasperian. I'm better than you. I think I'm better than you. Therefore, I am. He is literally Anacasperian from fucking Young Turks. He really generally is. Even though he thinks and says that he's not and he's just working class and everything else like that, he honestly always says, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm better than you, I can do whatever. He's honestly that person that has that much of inflated ego that he says, I'm going to own the libs today. And it's just, fair enough, you probably will do, but that's the reason why people dislike you, Sargon. Not because that you're actually doing the owning of them, but because you naturally assume that you're going to anyway. You naturally assume the arguments haven't changed. And that's the reason why people are leaving you for dead in debates, my friend. Not because you're not intellectually superior to them. You probably are, generally. But it's because your ideas haven't really changed where their positions have. But yeah, let's carry on with the video unless you have something to add.
I'm trying to picture Sargon in Anna's dress now. Yeah, probably not a good mental image.
Well, Aaron Telford makes an extremely great point. You've never seen Anna and Sargon in the same room at the same time. Dun dun dun.
I don't think you ever will either. Funnily enough, she probably accused him of rape before he ever entered the building.
Well, I don't know. He's got a Muslim type of beard. She might like that.
Oh, that's the reason Chank's never got any.
Probably. Probably. Right, let's get this video fucking done.
I mean, that's all well and good, but it is tiring. And I am genuinely just one guy, and I really think I can better focus my efforts elsewhere. But that doesn't mean I won't be doing things. I'll still be assisting UKIP as and when I can. I'll still be interviewing MEPs and whoever else that is useful to interview on my live channel. I will be doing things on the Thinkery, obviously, and I will be uploading content to my main channel. It'll just be far less frequent, and it'll be far more, I want to say polished, but let's say crafted, because, you know, my video editing skills have never been good. So what does this mean? This means that I will no longer be producing This Week in Stupid, and I will no longer be producing regular videos specifically commenting on pertinent and topical news items. I know.
So you're not doing the stuff that made you famous. You're not doing the Week in Stupid, which a lot of people will forego your weekly content for that specific thing. You're also not going to do other stuff that made you famous by your political commentary. So what you're saying is you're literally giving up on your idea of being Sargon of Akkad. Wow, Jim, you did a fucking number on Sargon, mate. Well fucking done.
It's very strange, isn't it? Which is, I'm going to be doing a lot less content for my subscribers, but please don't unsubscribe your Patreon payments. Please don't stop clicking on my videos and giving me ad revenue. And
yeah, it makes you think, doesn't it? I'll do content every now and again just so I can justify having that amount of money coming into me.
Yeah. For someone like yourself and me, who don't earn a penny from doing what we do, we can do that. We can dictate how long it takes. If I want to take 6 months to do a fucking video, I can.
Not beyond the PAL.
All right, 5.5 months. But the point being is that I have that excuse, which is I don't get anything from any of my viewers, so it comes when it comes, if you pardon the expression. He doesn't have
your expression, and I am waiting for it.
Yeah, well, that might speed up my content because what's that? A new video every 3.5 minutes.
I'm not that good. Fuck.
Yeah, milk like a cow, mate.
Dang.
Someone like Sargon just doesn't have that excuse. There are expectations on him. They want content. They want videos. They want something to watch. They want to be entertained.
Are you not entertained?
Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, he might think that he's now some political hero and some kind of, person who's going to save us all from feminism and Islam. But at the end of the day, the reason he got his money and he gets his money is because he puts out content people want to watch and they want to be entertained. Doesn't matter what the subject is, it's still entertainment.
Yeah, and that's the phase that he should actually be, is a phase of it being entertaining for him and for other people. I would say that I don't necessarily think that Sargon is that internet hero that everybody thought that he was to begin with. I definitely don't think he is now. He's been proven not even to be able to, hold political sway, even in a UKIP that's supposed to be as liberal as he wants it to be, as a libertarian, so to speak, or an individual libertarian, whatever the fuck he's going to be called next week. And then to come out and say, oh, he's not doing any content. He's not doing what he's been made famous for. He's not been doing other political videos whatsoever. He's going to do some gaming videos that he's never completed. He's going to be doing a Stormtroopers video that he keeps on promising that he's never going to do. And then he's going to do cheap and easy videos to make, which is interviewing MEPs, which he's got access to be able to fill content.
I joked before, when they called him, Anita of a card.
Yep.
But what you just described is everything she's ever done.
Yep.
Feminist Frequency was supposed to have done that series that they raised money for and never completed. I'm sure at one point yeah, and I'm sure they were going to do a game that they never finished, and a couple of other things they did. And it's all. It is true, isn't it? The old saying that you eventually turn into the thing you hate.
Definitely.
Oh dear.
Yep. No, I definitely agree with you on that. And I agree with you so much on that. I'm not even going to add to it. I'm going to play the video.
No, that's probably a disappointment for some people.
Just most of your subscriber base, dickhead.
Oh.
I really need to unplug for a while. I need to get off the treadmill. I need to relax. Because I think that there's a depth of feeling among some communities, shall we say.
No, you started a trolling contest with the King of Trolls. You lost. Anything to add to that, Magic?
No. Again, you're beating me to the good words, common sense. I'd like to think that anybody who's stupid enough to take on Jim, you either don't know who he is or you are incredibly deluded. You would have to have evidence of him, I don't know, fucking 75 goats in an evening or shagging babies or something to bring him down. He will have mountains of evidence on you to use against you, and he will slag you off and take the piss and make you look like a fucking insect underneath his massive digital foot. Honestly, I would never ever want to cross Jim in that respect, because he will find something on you, no matter how minuscule, and he will use it against you, and then his fans will use it against you, and you will just be a twat on the internet. And I generally don't get any of this. It didn't need to be this way. I don't even really understand why he decided to take on the alt-right. Really, he should have understood that part of his followers were the alt-right. You might not politically agree with them, but
he does, though. I mean, don't get me wrong, he doesn't go with the ethno state. Don't get me wrong, he doesn't go that far, but he does agree with most of the alt-right standpoints. That's the reason when he keeps on saying, oh, I'm a classical liberal that believes in this and that, but yet you still want to stop free speech. He's a free speech absolutist, but then he wants to stop. Now, I kind of agree with him on it, but then he wants to stop Muslim clerics that are for for the radicalization of people in mosques and things like that. He wants to completely ban them. And don't get me wrong, it's a good idea, it's a good platform, and it's probably the best thing to do. But you can't then say that you're a free speech absolutist. The clue is in the word absolute.
I know. It really, really, the last, 12 months, 12, 18 months, he really, really has shot himself in the foot. And I thought that this year he was actually picking up, especially with the joining UKIP stuff. But this whole thing with Jim is just, fucking painful to watch, but still entertaining. And
it's so entertaining.
Yeah, it's painful, but I'm glad he did it in the respect of me being entertained, because the last couple of Sunday evenings have been fantastic.
I'm looking forward to this weekend, because now that Sargon's done this video, Jim's going to pick up on it. He's going to absolutely destroy Sargon when it comes to, you running away, and so on and so forth. And Jim's going to do it better than I ever fucking would. But it's going to be that type of stream, isn't it? Sargon's decided to quit the internet. Could that be that the troll has been out-trolled?
Well, this is the thing. I wonder if he can even wait till Sunday.
Because he works as well, doesn't he?
because I think they'll definitely be slagging them off tonight on the kill stream, no two ways about it. And I'm sure there'll be fucking shitloads of videos by next Sunday of this, admittance that I'm reducing my content. I'm burnt out. I'm so tired and all that. And yes.
Quite easily, even from my limited trolling knowledge. If he kept on saying, I'm so tired, I'd just go, yeah, because of all the debates you lost.
Oh, dear. In a way, I do feel sorry for him, because he's allowed this. He's allowed this to happen. That's the big mistake. He's allowed it to. None of this needed to happen.
No, if he just would have left Jim alone, he would have been fucking fine.
Yeah, or if after the Spencer debate, if he just come out and say, "Yeah, I lost that one. I didn't do as well as I expected. I should probably have boned up a bit more on my information, blah blah blah," and just accepted it. But instead, no, he had to sort of then, come up with the whole liberalist thing as a sort of like a fight back and all this sort of stuff. And I can see where Jim gets the, his impression of Sargon, that he's just doing it entirely to feed his ego as opposed to doing it for the right reasons.
Well, look at the way that he set up the liberalist movement. Fair enough. Okay, maybe it wasn't the best idea. Maybe it wasn't the best name. The thing that I had an issue was the same thing as Voices One quite regularly pointed out with the liberalist movement. One, and most importantly, you had to pay 30 quid to become a member of his liberalist group.
Mm-hmm.
Why, if you believe in the forerunning of freedom of expression, freedom of voice, freedom of whatever, would you ask somebody to pay 30 quid, which is basically the same as joining UKIP? It wasn't even a political fucking party, and you wanted to be a member at the same fucking price as a political party. You weren't going anywhere. That wasn't for trying to produce a form of a movement, so to speak. It was a way of earning money and getting some fucking ego boost out of it by how many people bloody joined you. That's it.
Yeah. I don't know. I really think he should have just... Well, one, he should never have done the debate, because I think he should have realized, or somebody should have told him straight, you're not a very good debater. You're okay, but you're not great. And so you should not be fighting the alt-right, because really you both got the same enemy for the time being. So, in this sort of like the same way with our uneasy pact with Russia during the Second World War.
Yep.
We did not support the Russians with their, with their political ideology, but we fought together to defeat a common enemy.
Yep.
So, put aside those differences, work together, and, fight the culture war together, because all you're doing now is playing into the hands of the far left. Because you're too busy fighting each other, who's going to fight them?
Yep. The old rule of divide and conquer.
Oh, it works every time, mate.
Of course it does. Right, let's get back onto this fucking piece of shit. Or not. Come on, computer, bloody work.
That they think that I'm doing this for me.
Yes.
And I really want to be able to show them I'm not. I don't do any of this for me. And what I'll be doing now, from now on, is making content for me.
Wait a minute. Do we have a slight oxymoron then?
No, we just have more.
I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for everybody, even though I'm making my videos for me.
Yeah. I just wanted to point out to everybody, which I've just noticed, if this was a heartfelt video and everything else like that, I'd say 3 to 5 seconds, watch his face, and he will look down to where the timestamp is, round about here, type of thing, around about 10:04, that sort of timestamp down there in the far corner. One would probably think that he's reading a script. So if he's generally just explaining to people why he's leaving, like, he's tired, generally it would be a heartfelt video, wouldn't it? This isn't a heartfelt video. This is a scripted video, which means this is part of a plan. So let's just watch that for the next couple of seconds.
The content that I want to make, things that I think are interesting, and I want to say the things that I think are valuable. Now, like I said, that doesn't mean I'll never be anywhere or anything like that. I mean, I've got like a string of engagements at universities and various other places that I have already committed to. And so I'm going to do those, obviously, because I'm a man of my word. But after that, I probably won't commit to anything. Because, I mean, another one of the problems of being so active is all the traveling. I mean, I've just been away for a week, and I'm really not happy with how it went. And it's not there was anything wrong with the MythCon guys or anything like that. It was all me, nothing to do with anyone else. And so I want to change that. I want to put a stop to that. I want to make sure that I'm doing what I think is best. But
I don't do the videos for me.
Yeah. It's for everybody else, even though they're for me.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. I'm not going to do content, or I'm not going to go and do other bits and pieces. The reason why I don't want to do content or go and do more speaking engagement is because the traveling really hurts me. I mean, I'm not doing it for me though, guys. I want to do it to help everybody, but traveling really hurts me. Wow. I'm guessing everybody in the chat actually noticed what I said by how many times he actually looks down into that far left corner, or on his idea it would be far right corner.
Did you see what he did there? Which tabloid is that one going to be pointing out in?
Oh, I don't know. Probably the Daily Mirror.
One
has to look after oneself in the mirror.
If you're earning 12 grand a month, surely you can afford auto cue.
It would be fucking interesting, wouldn't it? But the thing is, that 12 grand is what some people would earn in a year, like for cleaners and for things like that.
Yep.
Well, I'm not saying that they're well paid, obviously, but that 12 grand a month, just on Patreon alone, without his speaking engagements and so on and so forth, as we alluded to, is still more than what some people earn in a year. But, I'm not doing this content for me, guys. I'm doing it for you. But I'm taking a break and I'm going to do the videos I want to do. But it's all for you.
I seriously hope, for his sake, that he is saving the vast majority of that money. Because, on his current trajectory, that money could dry up rather quickly. He needs to, especially if he's now going to start making bugger all content.
Yep.
I hope that he saved up something like near to, $500,000 or something, and then has paid his mortgage off so he can just, jack it in as and when.
Which he probably has done. It's probably the reasons why he's doing it. It's nice earning the money, but why would you want to be ridiculed by everybody when you don't even have to work anymore?
I think he's probably spent most of it hiring trap prostitutes.
It depends. Probably the reason why Blair White made that video recently about her basically denouncing all of the skeptic community.
Oh, she outed, she?
Well, I don't know about that, but it's interesting that she said that a lot of people don't even believe in what they're talking about. They'll parrot particular points, but then when you speak to them, they don't even believe what they're talking about.
What?
Kind of sounds familiar to the reasons why somebody joined UKIP, because I don't believe in what UKIP's doing, but it's just a way of parroting my political points.
She's trying to imply that somebody might have deliberately, built up a following on the basis of simply making money.
No, I'm not implying, I'm insinuating.
Fine. Because I was about to say I agree with it entirely.
Yep, that's why I'm still insinuating, which is stronger than implying.
I don't know, you could try incinerating, that'll get rid of the problem.
I don't know. Why not? Could have a bad smell afterwards.
You see, there will always be people. That's why things like Gamergate and all that became quite corrupted, with people who, they might originally have jumped on the bandwagon with the good intention, but as soon as they find out that, I could make a bit of money out of this, especially if I pretend to be a different sex and tell them that I'm actually disabled, and then conveniently open a GoFundMe or a Patreon,
Yeah.
and I find it odd that people think they're not going to get found out. I really do.
Especially on the internet, with the amount of information that you have to give for GoFundMe or a Kickstarter or whatever. As soon as you give them a last name, that's it. You basically lost the immunity.
Yeah.
Anonymity, sorry.
And as long as Poll exists, they will find you. It doesn't matter how well you've kept all your information hidden; they'll fucking find you. It's not worth it. It's not worth the risk.
Completely not agree. Completely not agree. Right, let's carry on with this video because we're still only halfway through. Let's see if we got any more nuggets.
Like I said, I will still produce content, so it won't be just sort of like political machine gunning. There'll be a lot more to it, hopefully. And
it's your fucking content. If you don't fucking know what you're going to create and you say hopefully, what the fuck? Sorry, guys, but I'm going to make more content that's going to be half decent. Well, I hope. Fucking hell, no wonder why Jim completely and utterly destroyed you, mate. You fucking contradict yourself almost every other content sentence.
Take a breath, common sense, and just press the space button.
There'll be topics that I cover that might not necessarily look like they're pertinent to what's going on, but I think that the metaphor of what I'm doing you should be able to extract that from the content that I've made. So hopefully I'm making good and informative and entertaining content that is also educational in a way that's not so much on the front line of the war.
What the fuck are you talking about? I'm going to make content that's not actually directly political, but educational. So basically what you're saying is, Sargon, you're going to do fucking propaganda and then moan about other people doing fucking propaganda.
Yeah, it's going to be gaming videos. This is definitely Warski version 2. He's going to go crazy batshit mental, have a massive breakdown, and then come back with a channel nobody watches.
Yeah, I still find that whole thing interesting. Hopefully, I'm making really good content, but I'm going to make sure that it's informative. But you have to take a metaphor out of what I'm doing to place it into political forerunning. So basically, what you're saying is, Sargon, you're literally, as Magic Bollox has said, turning into an Sarkisian. I'm going to produce lots of good content, but I'm going to make sure that I'm not at the front of the culture war. But, I'm still going to be in and around, but I'm taking a break from politics.
When he switches off his comments, when he switches off the up and down votes, and you don't even know how many subscribers he's got, then you can definitely call him Sarkisian. Until then, well, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, because I understand why he's running away, because he's desperately trying to save his career now.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. He can't have himself lose to some upstart yank that just basically trolled the shit out of him, and then have actual hit pieces and everything else like that done against him to the point of now UKIP are actually saying maybe it's not a good idea for you to be part of UKIP, and maybe you should just distance yourself a little bit, to the point of now Sargon going, I'm not going to do political videos, but, you know, I'm going to do political videos with a metaphor in them. That's just amazing.
Heartbreaking.
Yep. I completely agree. Let's carry on.
Not so much confrontational with other people. Because I don't know whether you've seen my beard recently, but man, it's getting white. I'm not.
Yeah, the reason why it's getting white is because all of the trap cum that you keep on drinking.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that.
Saying I'll never go back to doing the sort of frontline culture warrioring or anything like that. But I want to produce things that are, I guess, slightly higher level than what I've been doing, because I think I am genuinely capable of that now. So I think I'm going to try that. For anyone who's a patron of mine, if you aren't happy in the direction that I'm going, because I appreciate that you may well have been a patron to keep This Week is Stupid going or something like that. And if you're not happy that I'm taking a break to do content that's less direct and more enriching, I can.
I'm sorry. I'm going to take a break from doing, you know, political content, but I'm going to do something that's a bit crapper, where you have to actually really listen to what I'm saying, and you might get a bit of metaphor, but it's going to be enriching. Sargon, you are literally proving everything that Jim has talked about, as in the point of your ego being so fucking massive that you can't even sit back and go, well, I'm going to try and make better content. I'm going to try and make it enriching. I'm going to try. No, it's a case of, no, we're going to make it enriching. It's going to be better content. And if you don't like it, you can fuck off.
You're right, but I can't believe he would actually say, you can fuck off, but do leave your Patreon on. That would be very nice if you would. It's like me going to my boss and saying, I'm sick of coming in here 5 days a week. Fuck off. But don't stop paying me. I still expect to see my wages in my bank account every month.
Yeah, pretty much. Please don't not support me for what you used to support me for years, but because I'm going in a different direction, you might as well just, you know, give it a try, give it a go. I'm not going to do as much work, but I expect the same amount of money. Aren't you a big advocate of people getting paid for the work that they do? So if you're getting less work and doing less work, shouldn't you, by your own logic, Sargon, get paid fucking less?
Do you realise the way where you paused him right now does actually look like he's getting high off his fart?
He's definitely having a good old sniff, isn't he? Right, let's get on with it. Otherwise, I'm going to be fucking
here all night.
Well, we're basically at 1 o'clock now. Completely understand. I do not begrudge you at all if you want to end your patronage or anything like that. I mean, I'm still going to be on my Discord server and all that, so it's not like I'm going away from the internet. I'm just changing my focus from the front lines. But as I said, if that's not the kind...
Is that because you got destroyed on the front lines and now you're just mortally wounded and you're trying to escape so you keep your life and dignity intact?
Either that, or he's convinced himself that this is what his audience want.
No, he's let's be honest, he's not that much of a dimwit where you think that his audience...
No, okay. he's a dum-dum.
Dum-dum like choo-choo gum. But no, he's not that much of a dimwit where he knows that his subscriber base is going to not follow him on this. At least half of his subscriber base will follow him because it's Sargon. It probably will be interesting, let's be honest. But him changing his tact just proves that what Jim has said is absolutely correct. And he doesn't like the fact that he is being destroyed politically and the fact that he cannot run for anything politically because of his fucking past.
Yep.
And again, Sargon, people should be judged on their own character, shouldn't they, mate? Well, your character is lacking.
kind of content you want to support, I don't begrudge you for a second, and I hope you find good content creators in the alternative media sphere who are also on the front lines fighting the culture war.
But I'm not doing these videos for me. I'm doing them for you.
Sorry, I just saw AlphaGo's comment. It says Sargon has turned into an M&S advert. Not just any liberal, but an M&S liberal.
That's pretty good, to be fair. Well done, AlphaGo. I absolutely love that.
I like that. That's definitely comment of the night, that.
Maybe.
Apart from all my own, they were pretty good.
Yeah, they're all right. I'm going to sniff my own fart and go, mine are the best. Lovely. I feel like Sargon.
Just wait for Jimbo to get his hands on you.
To be fair, he'd probably like it.
Yeah, he probably would, actually. Probably get you in a sort of a Jim and Jade's human sandwich, wouldn't it?
Probably. Let's be honest, though. He's definitely going to absolutely rape me. So let's just carry on.
Be afraid to change if you need to change.
Or if you're forced. Because, Jim completely destroyed you. But, it was your choice, Sargon. It's your choice.
I completely support that decision. I'm sure that I'll be able to get along by what I'm doing.
Wow. That's a little bit pretentious. If you want to leave, it's fine. But, I'm going to be fine without you.
Did you expect anything different?
To be fair, he's literally just been called a pompous fucking windbag, basically. And he's running away from the internet, and yet he's still being a pompous fucking windbag. You think some cunt would learn? Sorry.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
I'm definitely not getting monetized.
I'm gonna miss those grey whispers, I tell you.
I'm not. I know where they come from. Traps are gay.
And so's Sargon's beard.
Yep, Sargon. Right, then let's carry on.
And if I can't, then I'll have to return to the front lines again, won't I? But
you honestly, literally, I can't get past a couple of seconds without being annoyed by your fucking ego, my friend. Yeah, well, if you do leave and I can't make it, well, I'll come back to doing politics. You'll come back, Glenn, won't you? No, I'll probably leave you because you're a cunt and you can't actually decide what the fuck you're doing. And as soon as you have any sort of form of backlash against you, you run away like a bitch. But I could be wrong. You could be a nice bloke.
Oh, I'm sure he is. He'll happily buy anybody a soy latte if you speak to him nicely. Say his content is very interesting when you see any after 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
But I'm sure I'll be okay. And I'm sure that the content I'll produce will be worthwhile in and of itself. So hopefully it'll be self-funding and self-perpetuating anyway. Not sure yet, though. We'll have to see. But yeah, it means that I'll be able to do the videos that I've wanted to do for quite some time, but just never found the time to do because they require me to sit down, not follow extraneous news sources constantly, all day, every day. And as Not So Obvious said in the comments of This Week is Stupid that he stood in for, thank you, man. It is an awful lot of work to produce videos like that. And it's also an awful lot of work to produce videos not like that. And I'd like to start making the videos not like that from now on. So again, I'm sorry if
I'm sorry, AlphaGo has now definitely won comment of the fucking day. Sargon takes 6 months off and writes a book. How to clean your plate.
Now that's...
Palette.
Yeah.
To be fair, it would have been funnier as a plate.
The ironic thing is, you open the book and all you can smell is farts.
Well, one has to have a smell of success because nobody is more successful than Sargon.
No, just all the YouTubers out there who've got higher subs and get better views and higher views on streams.
How dare you suggest that there's better people than Sargon out there? Sargon is my messiah. I am a Sargonaut.
Right.
Or are they still Sargonauts? I can't remember.
I don't think they were libelous ones. Yeah.
I don't have a fucking clue. There's too many names for too many different things, and generally most of them are because of him.
Why don't you just call him you're now a Sarkeesian?
He's definitely Sargesian.
You've got a wonderful knack at the moment of capturing him not very flattering stills, haven't you? That's definitely inhaling the fart, that is.
That's not him inhaling it. That's him getting high off his own ego.
Oh, okay. Because before it was just the start of the sniff. This looks like it's going fully in both nostrils now.
Probably.
Yeah.
Right, let's get on with this last little bit.
But I'm really looking forward to actually doing things for myself for a while.
I don't do these videos for me. I do them for you. I do this content not for me, but for you. I still can't get past a couple of seconds.
Try.
Feel like for the past 5 years I've been doing things for everyone else, and I'm not begrudging anyone anything, and I appreciate all of the support and all of the people who watch and enjoy my content. I really can't thank you enough, but I need to do something else for a while. I'd like to do something I find enriching, something that makes life worth living.
Well, I tell you what is very enriching. How about letting 500,000 people in our country every year? That's extremely enriching.
It's definitely diversity, and it is a strength.
It is, and what you should do is video supporting it.
Yes, exactly.
Because then he might find himself getting a new audience who don't know anything about him and Jim.
Well, yeah, that's probably why he's running away. But I do love the fact that he keeps on saying that I'm doing these videos not for me, I'm doing them for you. And then he says that, I didn't do anything for myself. I did it all for you. And now I want to find this enriching thing for me. So it's, again, AlphaGo's made an absolute lovely comment again, a star comment. It's not you, it's me. But if it's not me, can you come back? I added that bit.
No, it is. It's not you, but me. Yeah. But keep paying me.
Yeah, exactly. Keep shilling for me. I am going to make content, honestly. It's just not going to be the content that you want. It's going to be the content that I want. Because, I wasn't doing anything to fight any culture war because I call myself a culture warrior. But now it's a case of I'm going to do something enriching and something that I care about. Well, that just says everything else that you really need to know about Sargon, doesn't it? Let's move on.
And I've never wanted to be involved in politics, and I've never wanted to be a news pundit or anything like that. So I am looking forward to letting someone else shoulder the burden, at least for a while. Like I said, I'm never saying never or anything. I mean, I don't know how long a break I'll want. Maybe I'll take a month off and really miss it, really miss the fight. Because I'm not saying that there isn't a part of me that enjoys the fight. There certainly is.
So if you enjoy, I'm just going to carry on. There's just too much to unpack there. I'm just going to carry on.
But I'm just one man. That's the thing. This has always just been one man. So
one man and his dog. Wait, he's got no dog, so it must be a trap.
One man and his beard.
His bunty beard.
Yeah, definitely needs a wash.
Sorry, mate.
Said definitely needs a wash.
Possibly.
Smells like shit.
Oh, I don't know what I had last night, but I've got some sweet corn.
Yeah. Also got some peanuts as well.
Raymond Anderson makes a very, very good point. One man and his gypsy.
Well, yeah, exactly. Why do you think his eyes keep going down to the far right, as Common Sense quite aptly put it? It's not because he's reading the script. He wants to see if his gypsies stop sucking yet.
Yep. No, I kind of agree with that. Stop sucking me.
I'm sorry. I quite like you. No ill, mate, but the joke wouldn't work without it.
No, definitely not. But I quite like V. I think V can stand on his own. I actually think V's a lot better as a social commentator than fucking Sargon ever has been. I think V actually understands what's going on a hell of a lot more than what Sargon does. And he's not afraid to fucking talk about it. He's not waiting for political acceptance, which is what I've said all along with Sargon. He seems to go where the wind fucking blows him, where V constantly is sticking to his principles and his points. Where even in this video, Sargon has gone against himself, at least 10 fucking times? Like one for every fucking minute of the video. Right, let's get on with the last bit.
Well, do the things that actually interest me, what I want to do. But I think there's some good content will come out of it. I'm absolutely sure some pretty good content's going to come out of it. It's just going to be slower. I'm not going to be producing 2 videos a week, for example, and
I mean it in a nice way. I know Magic Bollox is not going to understand this because it takes him fucking like 4 months to even think of an idea for a video. But 2 days in a week for producing a video is not high content. It's high pressure, especially for, as you quite rightly said, Sargon, your level of fucking editing skills, which is probably the same as mine, or mine's the same as yours, which is shit. But you can't say that 2 days a week is high context stress or high content stress. It's just fucking laziness. And yet you're still getting 12 fucking grand a month. Though I have a slight inkling that you'll be lucky to get half of that. Never mind. Anything bad, Magic?
No.
Fair
Apart from, I'm triggered, you bitch.
You love it.
When you do the insults, I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, cow.
Stop stroking yourself and let me stroke my ego.
If it gets big enough, mate, you'll be a rich man. And despised by most of the internet.
Sounds like life then.
Oh, it's not that bad yet.
Not yet. I'm getting there. It's taking its time. Right, then let's do these last minutes. I think we can manage it.
Come on, mate, we can do it.
Nonsense on my other channel as usual, obviously. But again, it'll be less about chasing the news, which man, looking forward to getting out of that. And I don't think I'll be attracting as much drama either.
Look at his fucking face. Oh, I won't be attracting much fucking drama. No, you know fucking Jim's going to do a massive stream on you this Sunday. You know he fucking is. And that's what makes me always say to anybody that wants to talk to me about Sargon is the fact that he's an attention-seeking fucking whore. This has nothing to do with political ideas or political dialogue. This is to do with attention-seeking because you want to be center of the fucking world.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's there's enough of the things we like about him. Let's start finding things that we think that are detrimental to his personality.
Yep. I couldn't last. I'm sorry. Sounds very familiar to what I say to my missus. But let's carry on.
Hey, gets the knickers off every time.
Probably, yeah.
Either that, you just waste till bedtime and they fall down naturally anyway.
Well, I am getting old.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the pants, didn't you?
Oh, sorry. She isn't wearing the old apple catchers now, is she?
Nah, not yet. Not yet.
Thank God.
Thank God for that. I'll leave that to you.
I'll pass it on when I see her.
No worries. All right, let's carry on.
But I'll still be around. So I'm not going anywhere. You're still.
I'm going to take a break for a couple of months, but I'm not going anywhere. I couldn't even last a fucking minute. I couldn't even last a second. I'm not going anywhere, but I'm just going away for a couple of months. Don't worry, I'll be fine.
I'm definitely getting convinced you're a fan, Common Sense.
So, my friend?
I said I'm definitely convinced now you're a fan.
I'm Not a fan.
Really, you can't stop speaking about the man.
Well, he's got such pretty blue eyes.
You know, in the same way that he just couldn't stop talking about Jim. You know, I almost thought it was love.
Yeah, let's carry on. Right, let's carry on.
You'll be able to contact me. Used to email me, message me via Discord or Facebook. I'll be around. In fact,
nobody can message you on Discord because you're a cunt and blocked everybody and stopped everybody from using the access to it, you bastard.
I'll probably have more time to talk to people if I'm operating like this than I would if I'm constantly working. So just let you know. But this video is going to mark a clean break in my content. So no more political shenanigans like I was doing before. No more This Week in Stupid. And a different tone to what I'm doing. And hopefully it should be less serious. Less me being angry at the world and more, here's something really interesting that you can listen to while you're playing video games or while you're doing your exercises or whatever it is, when you're doing the dishes. Here's something to make your day better rather than to make you pissed off all the time. But again, it's going to come from my political worldview, obviously. And so it should be quite interesting. But yeah, so don't be afraid if I don't upload for a while. I will upload. It'll just be fewer and further between and better. And I can't tell you how long I've waited to be able to say this. And this feels like the right sort of time for it too.
Yeah, when somebody's completely and utterly destroyed you on fucking your political views and your actual hypocrisies. Yeah, definitely seems like the right time, mate. Definitely seems like the right time.
Well, he's absolutely certain of himself. He's certainly happy that he's going to be doing the videos he wants to. Unfortunately, what he won't like is when he starts seeing his subscriber base start dropping off and the amount of money he's earning through Patreon begin to tail off. That's when I think he'll suddenly find that he's missed it all and he's got to get back into it again.
Yes, that's surprising.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm losing money. I'm losing subscribers at a really high rate. I wonder why that is. Could be that everybody that supported you, Sargon, probably likes the idea of you doing political content. And, generally when creators change their content, they usually have the death of their channel.
Yeah.
So I'm going to predict that Sargon will end up losing at least half of his subscribers before the end of the year, if he doesn't change.
I don't know if it'll be quite that severe because, as you well know, it's actually not that easy to lose subscribers unless YouTube's doing it for you. And there are a lot of people out there, even Kraut, who disappeared for 6-8 months.
Yeah,
he never dropped below 100,000 in that time, even though he was producing fuck all and everybody knew what a arsehole he was.
Yeah.
So, even with all the shit that's going on, I'm sure there are a lot of people out of that 850,000 who don't like him anymore. The amount of people who just subscribe, occasionally watch, and just don't really care will, he could lose, like you said, 50,000, even 100,000. It won't really damage him that much. It might hit his ego, obviously, but I do think once you reach a certain level, it is actually not that easy to shed subscribers. So I in that respect, I think he'll be all right, but maybe his view count will drop.
His view count's definitely going to drop. The reason why I think that he's going to lose half of his subscribers is not necessarily just because of his change of content. It's the fact of his character has been completely and utterly disintegrated. His character in itself is going to be is going to be dragged through the mud. It's going to literally be pulled by a fucking mule on a fucking cart because he is literally doing everything that he said he would never do. He is going against his own principles of trying to push for a Brexit, being able to go against a liberalist movement, to be in the political sphere. The actual point is that he said that he wanted to join UKIP as a point of being able to stand for something, to be able to fight against the status quo, so to speak, to make a general alternative to the political structure that's in the United Kingdom. So as soon as you start getting somewhere, and as soon as you have your first sort of, I don't know, scuffle with somebody or whatever, you completely and utterly capitulate, decide that you're going to change your content, decide that you're going to go completely against everything that you've ever fucking said politically, and then go, well, I don't really want to do political videos anymore. But if my content starts to die, then I'll just go back to it and I'll be able to live off of it again. Why not? It's that pretentiousness that has and will do completely destroy anything and any credibility that Sargon has ever had. Because he has literally just proved to everybody that Jim's correct. We knew he was anyway, but now he has proved it to the point of him saying, well, you know, I'm going to quit this because I've had a little bit of a rough patch. And if I'm going to absolutely start losing money and start losing everything, I'll just go back to politics because, you know, I'm that fucking great that it doesn't really matter what I do. People are still going to follow me. No, mate, you've literally just proved everybody that's ever had a criticism towards you fucking right. Well done.
Yep, pretty much. And let's just watch and wait and see what happens and see how long this break lasts. You know, it's the numbers will give it away. They do start dropping considerably, then I think there will be a sudden change of heart. I could be totally wrong, and he might stick to his guns, but I don't know. I can't see somebody who earns that much being happy with having a sudden drop off, because I'm now doing the videos that I always wanted to do. Yeah, but you're not as rich as you once were.
Exactly.
Yeah. But well, it will be interesting, mate. It will be very interesting.
Yeah, it will be fucking interesting. Yeah. I'm going to look forward to Sunday. I know it's a way off already, but I'm going to look forward to Sunday. Or to next time I see Jim do a video. So I'm going to look forward to that. And I can't wait for Jim to completely and utterly tear Sargon a new one, even more than that chap did last night.